Previously.
His name is Quentin MacLeod. He is the Highlander.
Super team extraordinaire, freakazoid, runs around in underwear, freakazoid, rescues Washington DC, freakazoid, and something better's on TV, freakazoid.
Bond. James Bond Jr. No one can stop him, but scum always tries. Young Bond cuts through each web of spies.
We're tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony. And in this cartoony, we're invading your TV.
And now, Picture Wars. Return of the cartoons.
But
Everybody fucking forgetting about me.
No, I'm not. I'm keeping track of a lot of stuff right now. Okay? It's a lot.
All right.
Let's take the holy words of SWAT and Katz and combine them and turn them into a show called Swat Katz.
I love everything about that sentence. SWAT Cat, 1993, 1995. 2 seasons, 26 episodes. Some of the voice talents of Charles Adler, Barry Gordon, Tress McNeil, Jim Cummings, Candy Milo. Yeah, we really do. Slam's right. We need a Tress McNeil counter too, because that's another name that keeps popping up. This revolved around the feline characters of Mega Cat City, and its 2 main characters were Jake Clausen and Chance Furlong, 2 pilots who were thrown out of the Enforcers due to a mishap and forced to work as junkyard auto mechanics to repay the damages they caused. They decided they had to do more to make amends, and therefore, Jake Clausen designed the Turbo Cat and became the vigilantes known as the SWAT Cats. Jake, aka Razor, was the weapons system officer.
Weapons systems officer, actually.
And Chance, aka T-Bone, was the pilot. Together they protected Mega Cat City from many foes such as Dark Cat, Dr. Viper, the Past Master, Mac and Molly, aka the Metal Cats, and Hard Drive. This is SWAT Cats. SWAT Cats, the Radical Squadron. Buttons.
I will say that the visuals of the show really kind of, I think, do something amazing about it. I like kind of that overshadowy kind of approach and then like heavy shadows. I find SWAT Cats to just be an overall, like, it doesn't do a lot in the way of talking, and like the guitar is fantastic. But I think what it does is it again shows like a visual of like, this is the world, this is the villains, kind of like Thundercats. But less words.
No words.
All
right, Boomer, Nessa.
All right, so we went with good intro. Visually, it was appealing, but I don't feel like I got a lot from it. Like what? I know we talk a lot about like what things are about, but I don't know. It was kind of missing something for me, but it does give me a lot of explanation as to why my son, who's a welder, loves cats so much, because apparently they must weld with him and then they fly jets at night. So answered a lot of questions for me. But I mean, visually it was appealing, but this one I would have preferred a little bit of words to it, or at least a little bit of overlay in the beginning. But we gave it a good intro. Could have been a little bit better.
Good is fair. There wasn't like an overabundance of visual storytelling as far as background goes, but at the same time, I had no idea what that show was about going in, and I I'd watch it.
Okay, Bay?
First, I want to put in an OSHA complaint for that guy welding without eye protection, right next to his buddy, who also is not wearing eye protection. Like that, that poor guy. I just forgot the rest of what I was going to say. Fuck my life. So I think in the 80s with like Silverhawks and Thundercats and everything else that they kind of put together, they had a good formula, and this is definitely trying to piggyback on that, and it just kind of annoys me that it happened that way. And I don't know, I said it was a good intro.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, that's it. I'm done.
Okay. Green Dragon wants to clarify, Mega Cat City is not a city of really big cats. So just be aware.
Shame.
It's not really big cats that live in this city. I voted that this was a great intro, personally. I really like the stylized look of the animation. I got a pretty decent sense of what was going on. Like, there's these two auto mechanics who are apparently, can weld without safety equipment. Once again, as Bay said, OSHA's going to be pissed. But at night, they turn into these awesome jet fighter pilots that fight off giant monsters, and on this wide variety of what I'm assuming is the villains that came flashing in front of our face. And I also find it absolutely hilarious that they are flying this high-speed jet through a city. So I just absolutely love that part. There's no practicality to that whatsoever. Once again, cartoon logic, or as we found out in the 80s, cocaine. Now it's heroin because it's the 90s. But I really felt like it was energetic enough that it made me want to watch more. I think it was better than good. It wasn't amazing, but it did its job of kind of ensnaring me and making me want to sit down and see where this goes from this intro. So I said good. I'm sorry, I said great. And it is I'm sorry, go ahead.
Since this is the 90s now, can we transition from cocaine energy to crack energy?
We could do crack, or we could do heroin. I mean, either or. They were both popular during the
Heroin's
time.
more of a 2000s drug.
Okay. So then, all right.
Do you think in SWAT Katz there was a war on catnip?
Ooh.
And was it equally ineffective?
Was there like catnip rehab?
Catnip. That's no mine.
Obviously, come on.
Oh my gosh! Could you imagine, maybe that's why they got kicked out of their squadron, was because they got caught with catnip.
Oh my god.
What is this bag? What is this bag full of? It's like, I swear, man, it's just marijuana. It's
you planted that shit on me.
That ain't mine, man. That motherfucker planted that shit on me, man.
I learned it from watching you.
I swear to God, it's pot. It's not catnip. It's pot. Okay, so we've got a tie between great intro and good intro. What is going to be the general consensus here?
We don't have anything in great yet.
We don't have anything in great yet. We can do that. Does everybody agree? Are we good with that?
I'm okay with that. I voted for great. I think it's not amazing, but I don't think it's bad. I think it does a lot. I think it just echoes a lot from the 80s.
So we said good, but we'll boost it to great.
Okay, it seems like a lot of people are talking great, so we'll go ahead and throw this up in the B tier.
Still salty. It's going above Mega Man, though.
Well, you do have that save if you want to use that. So my wife has requested in my ear for Johnny Bravo.
Yes!
Surprised you didn't pick it earlier.
Wow. Well, actually, there's another one that I wanted to go for, but the request came in for Johnny Bravo. Give a round of applause to Slammers, by the way, the mod in charge, part of the mod squad, who is putting up all of our polls and keeping me on track in my ear, and wonderful. Thank you so much for taking this on while Boomer is slacking off and just sitting in this panel talking about cartoon intros. So it ran from 1997 to 2004, but it only had 4 seasons. 181 episodes was Johnny Bravo. We had the voice talents of Jeff Bennett, Candy Milo, Frank Welker, ding ding ding, Tom Kennedy, Tom Kenny. And if that same name sounds familiar to you, Tom Kenny is the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants, and Brenda Vaccaro. Johnny Bravo tells of the story of the bicep bulging, karate chopping free spirit who believes he is a gift from God to the women of Earth. So already this is not aging well to start out with. Unfortunately for Johnny, everybody else sees him as the narcissistic mama's boy with big muscles and even bigger hair. In short, he is the quintessential guy who just doesn't get it. No matter what he does or where he finds himself, he always winds up being his own worst enemy. Where did Bay go? Bay disappeared. Bay went poof. Bay! Did you fall off your chair? Are you okay?
I think she got snapped.
She got... Oh, no. All right. Well, in any case...
Oh, no. Anyway...
This is... Oh, there you are. There you are. I was worried. I thought you fell down and you couldn't hit your call for help button. And, you
no,
were... Okay.
I had to go wrangle Nebula.
Yeah. No, that's a wrangle in itself. All right. So here we go. Here we go. Johnny Bravo.
1, 2, 3. Wait there. Sassy. Man, I'm pretty. Do the monkey with me. Come on. Hey there, baby. Yeah, whatever.
I do the monkey every time I see that intro. That's Johnny Bravo. So yeah, while the character Johnny Bravo is this kind of like, thinks he's God's gift to women and thinks he's the epitome of being a man and everything else. I love the fact that he gets put in his place more times than not. He gets knocked down that peg by his mother, by every other woman that's on the show, by the little kid that he befriends that lives next door. Like, I don't know. I like it. I like this one. It's entertaining. It gives you a real quick look at what the character is going to be like. You can get that from this intro. The art style is typical of the time, especially with Cartoon Network. There's a whole swath of these that came out at the same time that all had the same look to them. So I'm going to give this it's a great intro. I don't think it's amazing, but I don't think it's bad either. So. Boomer, Nessa?
We also agree it's a great intro. Could have been a little better, but I also really appreciate the fact that it's super short and to the point without really diving into excessive explanation.
Mm-hmm. You get a feel for what he's about. I like it was sort of like an odd thing that was going on with the background with like the sort of pattern overlay there. I was kind of digging that. It's a very unique style. The way that everything is animated, super unique. I personally am going B tier as well.
Okay, Bay?
So I want to say that Johnny Bravo is to men what the Tick is to superheroes. And now I'm also noticing this pattern from like Inspector Gadget where the fucking mediocre guy that is just gets lucky.
Uh-huh.
He just gets lucky. So it gave me some fifis that I wasn't ready to like address today, and for all of those reasons, I'm gonna go with good.
Okay, all right, Buttons.
A show is there to teach us a lesson. I ask, can an intro teach us a lesson? Because Johnny Bravo is one of my favorite openings because of various reasons. One, that song is catchy, it's short, and it's good. And you see kind of like who Johnny Bravo is. He is like the background of everything in that. It's empty. His mind is empty. And I think it's kind of this interesting thing where you see him like get presented to a woman, he gets rejected. So we learn a valuable lesson of rejection. And Johnny Bravo's thing is like him like kind of growing and learning through it. I also like have a very special place of like Johnny Bravo because like for like every Christmas as a child, I was excited for the Christmas special that had Donny Osmond in it. And I just like love Johnny Bravo. It's an amazing opening. And I'm like the only one who gave it an amazing intro. With that being said, that's where I would put the show.
Okay. That's fair. By the looks of voting, it's going to end up in a great intro. But yeah, it's definitely a product of the time, and I know that we've said that a couple times with certain things, and not necessarily that it's a good or a bad thing at all. It's a thing. But yeah, Johnny Bravo, one of those really weird cartoons, because even though he's acts the way he does, he gets put in his place a lot throughout the cartoon. And I can't remember later seasons if he ever learns from any of his mistakes, but one would hope. I don't think he does. Bay shaking their head, and I'm tending to agree with that. So with that being said, Johnny Bravo is dropping into that B slot. Sorry, it's in the B slot. There we go, right there. See, here he is. Peace on.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Thank you.
So with that, Boomer and Nessa, what would you like to watch?
We're gonna pick a favorite. Also, I'm out of breath because I ran up the steps.
Oh no!
So we're gonna auto A tier this before we even get there and say we would like to watch Darkwing Duck.
Ooh. Oh. Okay. All right. You want to bring out those kind of big guns? I got it. Darkwing Duck ran from 1991 to 1992, 3 seasons. That still doesn't seem right to me, but whatever. 91 episodes. Jim Cummings was Darkwing Duck. Christine Cavanaugh was Gosselin. Terrence McGovern was Launchpad, as he has been for a while. Michael Bell, Dan Castanella, and Rob Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson.
Was also in this series as well. In the city of St. Canard, the people are plagued by the most bizarre criminals, but they have a protector as well, Darkwing Duck. This bumbling and egotistical superhero battles evil in the fair city with the help of his pilot sidekick, Launchpad McQuack, and his rambunctious adopted daughter, Gosselin. So here is Darkwing Duck.
Mystery, champion of right, swoops out of the shadows, darkly of the night. Somewhere some villain schemes, but his number's up. 3, 2, 1. Darkwing Duck. When there's trouble, you call me Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck. Cloud of snow and he appears, the master of surprise. Who's that cunning mind behind the shadowy disguise? Nobody knows for sure. Bad guys are out of luck. Here comes Darkwing Duck. Look out! When there's trouble, you call me Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, there we go. Darkwing Duck. Boomer, Nessa?
All right, so we already said this, but we also think that even Naked Duck would say it's A tier. We don't got anything else to say. It's like 15 out of 10. No.
My only remark is that it's 1992 out of 10.
All right. Bay?
There was something within that song that made Nebula even start crying. So 11 out of 10. It was a really good intro. Amazing intro, excuse me.
Okay, Buttons.
I'm going to just say ditto, and that was just an amazing opening. I'm going to give it an A.
An A. Excellent. And yeah, I don't really have any notes to add. Everybody knows just how amazing this intro is. The look of it, the sound of it, the pacing of it, everything is. Have you noticed that the Disney intros are the ones that are really kind of hit the point a lot of times? I mean, we've got DuckTales. What was one of the other Disney ones that came? Oh, Tailspin was another one. So these Disney intros really kind of hit that mark. So yeah, I don't have any kind of notes on this whatsoever. It's absolutely wonderful. Darkwing Duck goes up in that A slot. So Bay, what would you like to watch?
I had to check to make sure I wasn't muted while I look at the list. Let's go with the Addams Family.
Okay, the Addams Family. Addams Family ran from 92 to 93, 2 seasons, 39 episodes. Voice actors of John Astin, Nancy Lenardi, Rip Taylor, Carol Channing, Jim Cummings, Debbie Derryberry, Janine Elias, Dick Beals. The animated series is the 4th incarnation of the creepy characters based on the Macabre Family comics created by Charles Addams. First came out as a television series, then became an animated series in the 70s. First, their own animated series, then their appearance in new Scooby-Doo movies around the same time. Family went movie bound in the 90s. So this is basically this is the second animated series featuring the gang of macabre miscreants who have their own unusual ways of having fun adventures. So this is the Addams Family.
Mysterious and spooky, they're all together rookie. The Addams Family, their house is a museum where people come to see them. They really are a spree. The Addams Family.
Neat. Sweet. Petite.
So get a witch's shawl on, You can crawl on, we're gonna pay a call on the Addams Family. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together rookie, the Addams Family.
There we go. Addams Family. Bae, your thoughts?
I love that. That was so much fun. It embodied kind of everything that the Addams Family is. From like, we saw the chaos of what their house is, and the fact that they're all involved in their adventures. Just, I don't know, man. I loved it. So I'm gonna say amazing.
All right, Buttons.
I love it when a show can somehow make you feel like a world is lived in and you are getting that. And I feel like this intro does that really well. And I really find like the artistic, because I think it's more based off of like 40s and 50s style art style. I thought it was great. I thought it was, you know, a good kind of feel. I've never seen the show, so I don't know really where the show takes us, but I will say like the visual aspects of it. This is the hard part, because like the Addams Family theme song is so good, and it's that, and the visuals are so good. But like, I feel like there could have been like maybe their own spin on it. So that's why I have to give it like a great intro. If they did their own thing, I would maybe put it as an amazing intro. But still, I say it's a great intro.
All right, Boomer, Nessa.
I'm going to have to echo both Buttons and Slammers for a lot of the same points here. Strong hook, probably a little bit too long. I would have cut it a little bit earlier than 7 seconds. I probably would have cut it right down the middle. The second they went back to the second verse, I was a little checked out. But the animation style, the antics they were getting up to, it kept me engaged long enough to get through it.
I agree. I'm just dittoing.
Okay.
B tier for us.
Yep.
All right. And I put it at a B tier as well. I felt that the little musical interlude in between, that could have probably been removed, and it would have made it a much more enjoyable intro. I just felt that was kind of the longer part that I didn't personally need. But I love the visual look of all the characters. It's definitely a different take on them. Once again, we're going back to the psychology of using a very familiar song in order to drag you in. Everybody knows the Addams Family song. If you were born within the last 50 years, you know the Addams Family song. There's nowhere to get around it. But yeah, it is kind of based off of the older black and white TV show, it looks like, because Gomez is there in that very definitive pinstripe outfit, and Morticia is in the all black. Wednesday looks like freaking Wednesday. So like it's really good. I didn't think it was amazing at that point, but it was definitely a great intro, and it's definitely one of those ones that needs to be, recognized as such. So, and by the looks of the voting, we've got a 4-2 vote on that. And I mean, unless there's anybody in chat who wants to add their voice to this vote in the last couple seconds here. Scene. My bad. Thank you. But unless anybody has any other thoughts on this, I think we're going to put Addams Family, as soon as there it is, right on up here in that B slot, right next to Mr. Johnny Bravo. And Buttons, what would you like to pick for your final one today?
I say let's end it with a genius, a boy genius who has an annoying sister who is named Dexter, and he has a lab called Dexter's Lab.
Dexter's Lab. I love too many cartoons at this point. Dexter's Lab started in 1996, ran to 2003. 4 seasons, 221 episodes. Christine Cavanaugh played Dexter in the first 2 seasons, and then it was Candy Milo played Dexter in the last 2. Eddie Dezen played Mandark. Allison Moore was Dee Dee in the first 2 seasons. Catherine Cressetta was the last 2. Rob Paulson.
His name is Robert Paul. This is over with.
Tom Kenny, Frank Welker, ding ding again, was in this series. And Dexter's Lab is the story of a young boy prodigy. Born with an extraordinary mind, Dexter has built his very own extremely high-tech and expensive laboratory in his room that NASA could only dream of. But Dexter has to keep his lab secret for fear that others will exploit it. Throughout the years, Dexter has to hide his lab from his parents and others, but it's no easy task. All Dexter wants to do is spend all the time he can inventing new things in his lab. So this is Dexter's Lab. There we go. Buttons, thoughts?
If you want to get a short story in a opening, I think this has to be named as a top contender as one of the best openings that does that. It has you are introduced not through like a theme song of who these characters are, but you see what they are. And I think when you are seeing that and you're seeing like the visuals, I think it just is just striking like how beautiful it is, of how well they do. The song, even though there isn't a single word in it, I think it's just catchy. And ultimately, Dexter's Lab is like one of my favorite things, and the opening is one of the best parts about the series as well. And that's why I'm going to give it an A.
Okay. Boomer, Nessa.
So when you mentioned it was Dexter's Lab, I was a little disappointed that it wasn't about a dog.
My name is Doug. I have just met you, and I love you.
I'm just kidding. I'm obviously, like, I grew up in that time period. I watched the hell out of this show. The music does a really good job of kind of giving you the tone. Like, it's the kind of like mysterious, eccentric inventor kind of stuff that you would expect. You get a feel for what he's about. You get a feel for what Dee Dee's about. I'm thinking somewhere between an A and a B, and we'll see what Nessa has to say and see if she can swing my vote here.
I think it's a B. I do think it's a great intro. Without it being too long, you understand exactly who the characters are. But I also think it's very short intro. Like, I think it's a little bit too short. Like, it's kind of like, here's a scene, here's a scene, here's a scene, done. So maybe like a tad bit more, not like those minute ones that we've seen, but it was very quick and very over. I mean, but you do get a sense of everyone in that, the two main characters. But I think maybe just a skosh more footage would have been a little bit better. That would have made it maybe amazing for me, but
I think B is a fair spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Bay?
I also gave it a B. Yeah, it could have been longer. It could have had more. I do want to say that Eddie Deason is the guy that played Eugene in Grease, in the original movie Grease. Okay. He is from Cumberland, Maryland, and has been kicked out of several restaurants because he's apparently an asshole.
Oh,
which that didn't influence my vote, but
that kind of tracks for Mandark.
Yeah.
Because Mandark was the asshole rival of Dexter. So there we go.
Eddie Deason, typecasting.
I also voted that this was a great intro. I felt it could have been a tad longer. I did like all the visuals. Once again, it's part of that unique animation style that was done. I've stated that there was a whole group of them at that period of time that did this. So it was definitely it wasn't overly great. I don't know what you could have done to make it like an amazing intro personally, but it was definitely a great intro. And by the looks of voting here, I think that's where this one's going to end up landing. So I'm just going to go ahead, make sure I'm on the right scene so everyone can see this, because apparently I've been slacking on the scenes. I'm going to go ahead and grab Dexter's Lab and put that up in that B slot right there. All right, I am going to pick one that I've been kind of sitting on for a little bit. I wanted to see if anybody else picked it. Nobody has. We've already picked one of these. I'm going with Batman Beyond as our final one. Batman Beyond ran from 1999 to 2001, so it was a super late addition into 90s cartoons. 3 seasons, 52 episodes. It did feature the immortal Kevin Conroy as the voice of Bruce Wayne, along with Will Friedley. Seth Green was in this, Stockard Channing, Cree Summer. The quick synopsis is, I'm Batman. It's been years since Batman was last seen, and Bruce Wayne secludes himself away from the resurgence of crime in Gotham.
No. You might meet some new people. No.
After discovering Bruce's secret identity, troubled teenager Terry McGinnis dons the mantle of the Batman. With Bruce supervising him, Terry battles criminals in a future Gotham and brings hope to its citizens. So here we go, Batman Beyond. There we go. Batman Beyond. I really liked this intro because it was a departure at the time from the classic Batman animation that we were seeing. It came late in the 90s, and it gives you that futuristic feel. It kind of sets it up. You keep seeing the words greed. There was greed, apathy, and then by the end of it, there was hope and there was justice. So you kind of got the feel of where they were going to try to take this. You got some good looks at the characters for Bruce and for Terry McGinnis, even though you didn't know who they were at the time necessarily when this first came out. And they got a great look at the Batman costume, which was a striking design change from the way Batman's always been before. I don't know. I really think that this is definitely one of those really, the guitar riff throughout the entire intro, that banging, just driving guitar riff going all the way through in the music was really good. I feel like this was an amazing intro. It's definitely one of the better Batman ones that I've seen since the original that came out. And yeah, there we go. Boomer, Nessa?
So I didn't really consult Boomer this time. I just voted amazing intro because I love this intro. Also, I know it's like the tail end of the 90s, but I want to bring this back and say there was definitely cocaine usage to make this.
It was crack. It was crack, remember? It was crack.
Any questions?
No. This is definitely higher level than crack. This was definitely like a cocaine high. This is bougie stuff.
Force bump.
Colombian Bam Bam.
Cocaine.
Want to build a snowman?
Yes. But I can't. So, but I like it. I like the visual. I like the different scene changes. I've just informed Boomer too that he would like this cartoon, so he will have to watch it. But
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I had a momentary lapse in attention when you were going over the first part of the synopsis, like the year, how many seasons and all that. And I was watching about the first 10 seconds or so, and I looked over and had my suspicion confirmed that the first season, this was down to the year of 1999. This is such a period piece that it actually makes me smile a little bit, because this very easily could have been like the intro to like with a few tweaks to like a Twisted Metal game. It had a lot of late 90s sort of, not cyberpunk, that's not the word I'm looking for, the sort of like worldwide web super electronica sort of motifs there.
Yep.
Electro kind of like apocalypse kind of thing.
Yeah. That's he gets what I'm trying to go with here. And yeah, this is definitely a period piece for sure.
Bay?
I'm sorry. I gave it a D because it just didn't do anything for me. Like, for the first like 20 seconds, I was waiting for like an FBI warning, like you wouldn't download a car. Would you? Like, yeah, I fucking would. But I do want to point out that incidentally, Stockard Channing was also in the original Grease. She was Rizzo, so that kind of worked out pretty cool. But it didn't help the intro, so I'm sticking with D.
All right, that's fair. By the way, did you hear that the people who created the "you wouldn't download a car" advertisement actually did not get the rights for the music that were being used in that commercial,
Shut the fuck up.
and therefore
That is
got hit with a piracy?
I just heard that a couple months ago, and I think that's hilarious.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Justice.
Yep.
That is.
They never got the rights, and therefore they were slapped with a fine for using illegally downloaded music in their ad. Anyway,
it's for the greater good, right?
Exactly. Button, what's your thoughts?
Okay, so one thing that I think Verbs and I can agree on, Batman has always, because I'm a huge comic book fan as well too, Batman has always been the person, and Gotham has always been the city. And I feel like Batman Beyond does that with his intro, showing you how chaotic and jarring Gotham is now. Because if you remember in the entire series, that's what you're introduced to. And I remember seeing this when it aired in '99, and I was like, this is different than Batman the Animated Series that I loved growing up. And I feel like it did it well, because you're not seeing like a guy who dresses up in a costume, because it's just wacky, and it's like you're seeing like a different level of threat. technology is playing more of a place in it, and you're seeing kind of like this wacky world. And the opening is more related to the villains, and you see like different aspects of them to be kind of this general thing. Overall, I think it's an amazing opening because of that storytelling aspect you have in it. And ultimately, I feel like it is a period piece of that time. You do feel like it's that kind of like late 90s, early 2000s vibe. But all around, I think it's an amazing opening.
Yeah, and the voting seems to agree with that it's an amazing opening or intro. So we're gonna put that right on up there in the A tier.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Thingamabob, gobbledygook, what's its face? Whatchamacallit, whatever it is, whatever it was. Chocolatey chocolate, whatchamacallit. How's it go? Wowzum-doo, chew-gooey caramel. Whatchamacallit, doohickeys, you know what I mean. Peanutty crispies.
Chewy, chocolatey, crunchy.